Welcome to Unequally Yoked, Us Now. So when we started this podcast, I was very active Latter-day Saint of Jesus Christ.
Church of Jesus Christ of Latter, a Mormon. But it is insulting now to say Mormon, so...
I can't do that, even though that's how most people know. Anyway... So yes, I was very active and my husband had left and we were trying to navigate how to do that with our marriage and our life raising 5 children. So 10 years has passed now since we did our last episode and a lot has changed. So we have a lot to catch you up on. And it's going to take us a while because we do want to bring up subjects. And this is kind of what the podcast is going to be about for us, is us now.
Yeah.
Talking about life for people who are, know someone that finds it humorous to hear their issues in their life. But Neil is my honey. And I'm Naomi. Some of the things that you missed. Oh my gosh, you guys. So a lot happened and it was harsh. It was really harsh.
Yeah.
And we learned a lot of school of hard knocks.
Well, let's talk about where we are a little bit right now. We are now almost empty nesters.
We have one at home.
We have 2 at home. But one of them is in college and will be leaving shortly.
One is engaged. That's one of the things that happened.
Yep. And we have another one that is married now.
Married.
Got married about 3 weeks ago today. Or somewhere in there.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, we just finished a wedding.
Yeah. One is in a relationship with her boyfriend living across about 45 minutes away from us.
Mm-hmm.
And then one has passed away.
That will be our talk. A lot of the subject matter that I'm sure we'll bring up and do a few episodes on will be mental health. A lot of issues surrounding that and suicide and grief. All those kind of issues that came up in our life and how we navigated that and what we've learned, what we wish we would have known.
Yeah. So let's also talk about the explicit rating on this.
Yes.
We have chosen to cast this as an explicit podcast. I know that might alienate some of our original listeners, but
wait, it's not what you think.
Well, it is a little bit.
It is.
We're going to swear. Not a lot, but there will be swearing.
We're going to try not to, right?
We'll try not to. But there are certain quotes that I've said in my life that I will be repeating.
You will be quoting. Okay.
And
I can make peace with that.
We're also going to be, like Naomi said, we're going to be talking about some tough subjects. Death, suicide, sex, of course.
And here's another big one. Alcoholism.
Yes.
Guys.
And it's not the one you think it is.
It isn't. And that is what is crazy. There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
But yes, for 10 years, a good 10 years, I got into drinking. And I will get into that story a little bit more as we grow with the podcast. But it certainly ruled our whole family's experience and home, and a lot of ups and downs and hard knocks through that journey. But I am now coming up on 3 years clean. I actually am in some ways to a point in my healing where I'm grateful. I can see where this has brought us closer in some ways. And as a family, we are having a lot of post-traumatic growth. I see that happening in that. So don't get too down as we talk about it.
Yeah.
There's light at the end of the tunnel, and it's a process.
Yeah.
So.
We are in couples therapy. I'm in therapy for myself.
Yeah, I'm in therapy for myself as well.
And on plenty of medication.
not advocating any of that for any of you.
I would advocate therapy.
Well, yeah, but that's just us personally. But
Well,
yeah,
everyone can use it.
But I mean, that's our opinion,
Yeah.
and we're not trying to push that on anyone.
We can share our opinion, though.
But yeah, it's definitely helped us. Our experience has been life-changing and life-saving to us.
Yep.
Yeah.
We believe in EMDR, brain spotting. Yeah.
And we'll talk about that as well. Those are things to help with post-traumatic stress syndrome and any sort of trauma.
Yeah. So
anyway, we're talking a lot about what we're going to talk about.
What do we want to talk about?
What do we want to talk about right now?
Should we
get into it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your choice.
Choices. I'm really raw and fresh on my journey with alcoholism.
Okay.
Should we start since
Yeah.
we kind of
Why don't you talk about what you want to talk about? I will ask questions, and then we can also talk about. I want this episode then to be kind of about you and the alcoholism and your experience, and then maybe next time we can talk about me.
Yeah.
And my reactions to it. So
everyone in the family had different roles.
Yeah. So how did...
Ooh, okay. So guys, So we moved cross country. That's another thing that happened.
No, we were
here.
We were here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Apologize.
We'd just been here a year when we first started.
So when we first got here, I had a child attempt suicide, and that was about 2 weeks after we moved cross country.
And self-harm.
I had 2 daughters self-harming, and at one point 3. Just a lot of mental health issues going on with them, and myself as well. I have been diagnosed with depressive bipolar. I'm usually almost always depressed. Occasionally I'll get a high, and it's not as bad as most people who suffer with. Anyway, I'm managed most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Mischief managed.
Yes. So I was extremely depressed when I moved here, and I had tried alcohol before I moved here just to get Neil off my back. Plus I was curious. I tried 3 drinks, was drunk, and told myself I didn't enjoy it, if that's fair.
You told yourself that?
Yeah. Like I really thought that I wasn't enjoying it because I got really dizzy, and I didn't like being dizzy, and I didn't like feeling out of control. Mm-hmm. And I had also been taught my whole life that was extremely wrong. In fact, I couldn't have a temple recommend if I was drinking. And it was really a matter of health, was the teaching. And I knew that. I knew that alcoholism ran in my family, and I chose to drink. And my obsession with alcohol began, and it was that fast. And
really, after 3 drinks?
Mm-hmm. And it took me working a lot with my bishop in the church, and a lot of prayer, a lot of just like turning to a higher power to get me through for a year so that I could get a temple recommend, which I got and didn't use. But so I had been drinking before Sabrina passed and shortly after, like, we moved here, but it wasn't completely out of control, but we all saw that it was getting there.
Yeah, it was getting there even before she passed.
Before she passed, it was a problem. And then she passed, and I gave myself all the permission to drink as much as I wanted because I was the victim. My daughter died. My daughter committed suicide. Anybody would do this that had to go through this, right? That was the self-talk. And that self-talk was not me. It was the disease. And I had a really hard time before this experience believing that it was a disease and understanding and wrapping my head around that. I thought it was a cop-out. And I didn't realize I was so judgmental of people with addiction issues. Just really kind of looked down on them for not having that self-control and trying to use the word disease to get out of it. I always felt that way, and I have come a long way.
Well, I mean, from an outsider's perspective, or from the perspective of someone who's never experienced it,
That's what it looks like.
You shouldn't need to spend that money on that. All you have to do is not go to the liquor store.
Go.
You don't have to go to the grocery store and get wine or anything. It's a choice, but it becomes not a choice, really.
Here's the thing. At some point, I crossed a line to where I lost the chance to make the choice. This is a mental illness, which I don't think people realize when you call it a disease. It's because it's a mental illness. And it is an obsession with alcohol. It's a disease that tells you don't have it. and you can't stop thinking about it and craving it once that allergy has been triggered to be on, which happened from one drink for me.
Wow.
Now, that's not true for most people. They're not hardcore alcoholics, but that was what it did for me. And I went to rehab 3 times.
Plus outpatient for twice.
Intensive outpatient 3 times.
Was it 3 times?
Because once I got kicked out because I was drinking.
Right, I remember that. And then you also did a detox once.
I did a detox as well.
So
before I went to separate detox, and then I ended up realizing that wasn't enough.
Yeah, we thought it would be, but I thought it would be.
Yeah. So I don't want to get into all the issues because there are so many, but I would like to talk about kind of what we've learned that alcohol is and what it isn't, like alcoholism.
Right. Okay.
So my sweet Neil learned a lot from going through this process, and they do a lot of counseling with the family as well. So I'm interested, like, what kinds of things did you not know or misconceptions you had that you really had to learn, and what was it like having to go through that process?
That's a good question. The first rehab you went to, which was the ranches in Tennessee, they were really good. They invited family out for 3 days, if I remember right. Yeah. We did 3 days of classes, and it was okay, but
they did an excellent job of dual diagnosis, meaning you had the mental illness of alcoholism or addiction. They call it substance use disorder is the actual disorder. And you have another diagnosis, usually a mental illness,
secondary.
Like depression, anxiety, schizophrenia.
What was the primary diagnosis? Was it the depression,
depression, anxiety,
and then the secondary was substance abuse
disorder? Correct.
Okay, so that one, I don't remember a lot from that week. I remember it was informative, and we got to work with horses. I think it was only 2 days, if I remember right.
The family.
For the family, yeah. I drove out there. They let us have a night together, and then I came home, and it was really just a 2-day thing.
You would remember that night.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember.
I don't think we did anything. It was very emotional and hard.
And we watched a Netflix show, Bonding, I think is what it was called.
Because we talked a lot about, like, just, what is that word? Trauma.
Yeah.
Just trauma.
Yeah. And then you went to your second rehab, which was just at the beginning of COVID.
Right.
So that turned into kind of a joke. That was kind of a wasted
I almost
rehab.
got kicked out.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah.
And
I had behaviors that were alcoholic.
Right.
And they weren't appropriate. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, but because of the pandemic, they let you stay. But it was 30 days, no family, very isolated, and I just didn't really work. And then she came home from that and signed up for outpatient, which is the one she got kicked out of because she was drinking. And honestly, I didn't like it very much because they wanted the family to be, this is going to sound horrible, but they wanted the family to be involved, and it was all over video. So it wasn't really, it just didn't have the impact, the outpatient.
I don't think we were ready.
No, we weren't.
To accept what it was and what it wasn't.
And what it would required to do to change.
Get dealt, yeah. Because this is like, I think of it as diabetes. And it's something you have to manage and stay on top of. And if you don't, you get really sick.
Yeah. And then, so that happened in 2020. And then in 2022, is that when you went to Fellowship Hall?
I do not know. It is all a blur.
How many years has it been since? How many years are you going to be sober?
3.
So 2023 is when you went in.
Oh, you're right. That's my get sober date.
Yeah.
March 13th? Or is it the 16th?
All I know is that the Fellowship Hall's in Durham, and the NCAA tournament was going on, so it was in March. It was the first.
Well, I know it was March. It's either the 16th or the 13th.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was mid-March.
So we drove to Fellowship Hall. I took her there. We went there the night before and stayed at a hotel. And we bought her a bottle of wine. And
here's the deal.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to convey where you were. Yeah.
So here's where it was at. It's not pretty, you guys. I'm trying not to have guilt and shame about it. It's really hard.
And I don't want you to have guilt and shame.
I know. So I was drinking to survive at that point.
If you would have stopped, you would have died.
I would have died. Seizures, and I mean, that's how people die from alcoholism. And it's I didn't realize how extremely dangerous it was to just stop if you were as far gone as I was. I don't know how to talk about that, but anyway, I was drinking about 4 bottles of wine a day.
Yeah, and she checked into rehab, and what was your BAC?
It was 0.2 something.
0.23, if I remember right, I think. Because 23 is your lucky number.
23 is my lucky number. Oh, man.
I don't know if it was 0.23, but I'm going to go with that.
But yeah, that's what it was. Let's go with that. Holy cow.
And
that was me trying not to drink so that I was lucid. That was just enough to get by. Okay. So I am not like your typical alcoholic.
How so?
I didn't start drinking till late in life.
Oh, right.
I only had like a 10-year drinking career, and it got me on my deathbed.
Yeah, we were talking to liver transplant specialists.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
And you still have lasting physical effects from it that are getting better, you said, right?
so slowly. Guys, we're talking 3 years, right, of healing that my body has done. And I'm still really struggling with mental fog and mental acuity, which there may be other factors at play.
Angry husband. I'm always an angry husband, so that fogs your brain up.
No, that's not true. So, yeah, I don't remember what we were talking about.
Your lasting effects.
Oh, that's one of them. The brain fog.
The brain fog. Yeah.
That's funny. I forgot I was talking about brain fog. Sorry, I get entertained by the stupidest things.
It's not stupid. It's okay.
So you guys, I got in a wheelchair for a good 3 months.
We went to Hawaii before she got in the wheelchair, and she couldn't. We went to Hawaii. We went to Maui for our 25th anniversary, and we watched a lot of Friends while we were there. We went up on the. We did go up to the volcano, and
you went up to the volcano.
Well, we drove up there, and you stayed in the car while I walked around because you couldn't walk.
I couldn't walk because I was so malnourished. I didn't want to waste my calories on food, so I just would have them go towards drinking. And I got so malnourished I couldn't even get myself out of the bathtub by myself. I had to get Neil's help.
She fell down a few times, bloodied. She's got burn marks on her arm from the oven. So yeah, it was not pretty. And I still don't. I think I still don't understand how bad it was.
There's so many lasting effects on the whole family as well.
Yeah, and we may want to talk about that separately.
Oh, so separate.
There's so many topics to discuss around this issue, effects on our family. Anyway, you had asked me about what I learned.
Right.
That's why I was going it through I was giving a long lead up to your final rehab.
Oh, okay.
Which was Fellowship Hall in Durham, North Carolina, which we talked about just a second ago. Fellowship Hall had some really, really good programs for families. Has some really, really good programs for families. I would recommend if you're in the Charlotte, Durham, North Carolina area and you're experiencing problems with alcoholism, Fellowship Hall is amazing.
If you can get there in a day's drive, it's more than worth it.
Yeah. I heard the name Fellowship Hall as an atheist and was like, oh crap, is this going to be a religious-based rehab? I did not want you to go to a religion-based rehab like a Christian because I felt like that could short-circuit the process. What it does focus on, and he'll never hear this, but Mark Maron convinced me that AA was okay. And Naomi definitely doesn't need my permission to do any of her AA or anything like that. But I do feel good knowing that I feel comfortable with her doing that. And yes, it does involve God and a higher power. But the Fellowship Hall did a week-long family thing where Naomi wasn't there with me very much. It was mostly just classes with a bunch of family members of the patients. And we learned all about the disease. We learned about family roles. We learned about codependency, like all that stuff that goes along with alcoholism. I learned that I was a wonderful codependent and an enabler. I still kind of am, honestly. But I was a tremendous enabler back then. We had one of our sons our youngest son, who kind of stepped up and was the hero in the family. I think that's the family role, is the hero. He did everything right. When I would get so pissed sometimes at Naomi that I just would be like, you do your thing. I'm not gonna be involved anymore. I just not from a perspective of leaving, but I was done for the day. Like, if you're going to be downstairs and need to come upstairs, you can do it on your own, even if it means crawling up the stairs. Yeah, that's okay. And
or falling down them.
And that's what happened. And I was to a point where I just couldn't think clearly sometimes. I just got so angry.
You were a caretaker, and I just think you did so much. I hope you feel good.
Yeah, I do.
Because you did more than what you were capable of.
I got so sick of driving kids places.
Yeah.
I could never, never happened that you were able to drive.
Yeah.
Never, not once. Maybe once or twice.
I was a few times. But it was not enough.
No, the kids worked across the town at a pizza joint, and I
drove them.
I did a lot. I left work early a lot to get them to places. I'm fortunate that I was able to work from home for most of that time and be there for the kids and come back and do work after I had taken them places.
Yeah.
So that was good, but from my perspective, and obviously memory is not realistic. From my memory, I drove a lot. And there were only a few times when you drove. And that's how I felt. And that may not be entirely valid. You probably drove more than what I remember. The other thing that she did, despite her inability to function well, is she handled Christmas, especially after our daughter died. 2025, our daughter passed away in 2017. 2025 was the first year I felt comfortable celebrating Halloween and Christmas. And Naomi, despite her alcoholism, took care of that every year. And she pointed that out to me last year for the 2025 Christmas. And I think she was amazing to be able to do that. So
that's because you had to help a little bit. You know what? You helped with 2 or 3 people's gifts.
Hey, that's
huge.
Yeah, so
that's huge for us because that's another issue to talk about is our roles, men's and women's roles in this society, especially if you are religious. A lot of times, the religious belief surrounding it is a question of right or wrong or good or bad. And so you have these expectations in a belief system of how you're supposed to behave and what you're in charge of. And it kind of becomes this overpowering dynamic in a relationship, especially when you have the issues going on that we did with the suicide, the grief, the alcoholism, the kids suffering so much.
And
so much.
The thing that I'm finding or knowing is it's good for kids to have both parents, and our kids need their mom. Despite some lasting impacts on them, they still rely on you like crazy. Yeah. And you still reach out you reach out to them more than I do still, and they love you and they love talking to you. You've got a best friend relationship with our daughters, and so yeah, you're doing pretty damn awesome. So
you're quite the cheerleader, and I am eternally grateful for it because I really need it.
Well, I want to encourage you, it's important to me.
Yeah. Well, thank you. You do.
Yeah. So anyway, I learned that AA is a good thing. And honestly, I hear atheists ripping on AA. Well, how can you blah, 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 blah. And I will admit that I kind of have to have a little bit of cognitive dissonance about it. I don't believe in a higher power, but in the form of God, but I listen to AA people and they're, it's all about God, let go and let God and all that stuff. But what does the acronym GOD stand for? Can stand for?
Good orderly direction, group of drunks. I've heard a few different things, but like, just counting on the group and your sponsor and doctors and anyone that you know and trust of their opinion, you can be your higher power. Like if you have a team or group.
And it gives you a sense of accountability, doesn't it?
It helps make peace with that we really don't have control.
Well, that's not very nice.
No, it's awful. So you have to believe that, at least with our alcoholism, we don't have control. Our body and biology has made sure that we're obsessed with it. We love alcohol, and it lights up our little cognitive area like a Christmas tree, where most people just get like a little night light. Mm-hmm. So anyway, you have to have something, a power that can control alcohol, that can take over. And that has to be not you.
How does that work?
It has to be something bigger than you.
How does that work? Like, what is the process in your mind?
I am frequently
about that?
Going through my day going, thy will, not mine. Thy will can be the universe, can be destiny, can be whatever makes sense to you, right? It can be a typical Christian God or Muslim or whatever. Your religion can support whatever belief you have that is your higher power. It's made to do that.
Do you have atheists and agnostics in any
Yes.
of your and what do they say?
Everyone has something different. It's very personal. And a lot of people with the God problem, and I say that because I had one. I went through a huge faith crisis myself, trying to figure out, do I really believe? And there was always a part of me, like you said, with the cognitive dissonance, what I would call the faith part, that's willing to let go of, I don't know so much, and to say, maybe there's something bigger than me there. And that, giving up control to that, thy will, makes a huge difference, because usually an alcoholic tries to arrange their life just so, right? Mm-hmm. To our liking. People, places, things. We try to control it like someone would be the director of a play, the actor that stars in it, the person that does the lighting and the music, all the different people in the play playing all those parts, including the audience. I mean, that's kind of what a lot of people run their life, that they're in charge, that they can handle it, get control, people say.
Yeah.
Right? And the truth is, we don't have any control. There is no control. So you have to give it up and believe that there's something bigger and better running things. Or it's really hard. You're holding on to a myth. You're holding on to something that isn't real.
So I have two questions.
Yes.
The first one I found interesting learning from you, mm-hmm. and that is, what have you learned about the right way to pray?
Oh, yes. Okay, so most prayers happen that I've witnessed of, please bless me that I will be able to. Please bless that this will happen. Please help so-and-so that they can get better. Like you tell how it should work out, right? Mm-hmm. And what you want to have happen. Well, the prayer here is, help me, or take away, not even help me get rid of my character defects. Take away my character defects, and you're naming them. I give them over. that I'll be able to do thy will. And whatever, it's really all just about how do I align what's going on with me and give away the problem of alcoholism to a power greater than myself.
Could be, like you said, it could be the universe. And
yep. Somebody else is going to work that out because I don't have it. And I don't know why it works. I don't know. I just know that all the evidence, all the science, all the proof in the pudding shows that you got to have a higher power, a program that includes is much more successful than not.
Is AA a cult?
Probably. I mean, you could make an argument that it is. It's the most wonderful, productive quote cult that I've ever witnessed, because it is like, we're not selling something. We're not asking everybody to.
You do contribute.
It's really just a suggestion, and if you feel like being a part of it, you can be part of the fellowship.
How much do you pay to the fellowship every time you go?
But depends on what I have.
Like it seems like the standard is $1 or $2.
$1 or $2. It's not, maybe $3 now with inflation if you're feeling it.
Yeah, so it's not like you're giving 10% of your income to them. No. It's just a cup of coffee.
And you
less
don't
than a cup of
have
coffee
to either. Anyway, I'm not supposed to be like a spokesperson for or against or like any sort of expert, and I am not. So just so you know, I am not an expert on this. I am a newbie.
And you are working the program.
But I am working the steps, and I read the literature, which don't get caught up on that. A lot of people are like, I don't want to read. Yeah, so then don't let your sponsor read part of it or tell you, or you'll work it out.
Yeah,
you'll work it out. But
and there are other. I mean, to take away you being the spokesperson, and like we're only AA. There are other programs beside AA. So you want to, obviously, if you are an alcoholic, you want to find one that works for you. But even as an atheist and seeing the evidence of success, AA is a very successful program. It's weird as hell.
That's really?
Kinda, yeah. Well, not weird. It's just it's not the usual way of doing things.
No, it's not.
It's kind of a religion in and of itself, but
it's group therapy.
It is. It's group therapy, but there's no crosstalk.
No. Yeah, you don't ever talk about what you know about what someone else should do. At least you're not supposed to. The idea is you're talking about your personal experience and what has worked, and just sharing your experience, strength, and hope to other people who may be having a day where they're feeling weak. And I'm having a hard time with my program right now. I'm getting out of the habit and trying to turn the corner and get back into the habit.
What habit?
So there are certain prayers that I need to be actively thinking and saying throughout the day for my well-being. This is my program that I feel like
it's
I
not
have
for
to
other
be
people.
okay.
It's for
this is just what I
for Naomi Winters.
Naomi was a big drinker, so if she drank every day, she can do this program. She can spend a good amount of time on that. So I just have to say my prayers. There's a reading, couple pages that I like to do that have my morning and nighttime prayers in it, and just kind of expounds upon things to keep in mind, how to keep your mindset changed. And they call that a spiritual experience when you have had a change of thinking, a change of way of doing it. That is your spiritual experience that really changes your attitude. And when you start the program, at least for me, my sponsor had me, one of the prayers I said was basically just that I could have a new experience with everything and not like judge it. Just
how many times did you try AA?
kind of 3.
Yeah. So like the
but
first...
I never gave it, like, I did not understand. They kept saying, this is a spiritual program. I'm like, what? You're not asking me to believe anything, though. So what do you mean? Like, I had to redefine what I thought spiritual was. I had to create and be at peace with my own personal beliefs, at least enough that I could rely on a higher power.
So a lot of people say you have to hit rock bottom before you actually start making changes. I don't know how you feel about that, but I'm curious.
Yeah, so studies have shown that you can have somebody who is completely not interested in stopping the use of their drug of choice. And if they get into a good program, they can still make a full recovery. They're not finding that stops someone.
Did you hit rock bottom?
Gosh, I hope so. I hope I don't have anything left to try.
Right.
I mean, I darn near killed myself, so. Or, you know what? Let's rephrase that. The disease almost took me.
Right. So
I still do it in my head. I still blame everything on me.
Right.
Which, don't get me wrong. I will own up, and it's a hard road owning up and finding out more and more and more, because there are things I did I don't remember.
Right.
That's scary.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, that's scary.
Yeah. Talk about how many sponsors did you go through, and what obviously we need to keep this generic and anonymous, but what have you experienced? What are your thoughts about what works for you?
Okay, so how much do I include?
Yeah, I don't want to.
I know.
I don't want to.
So
name. I mean, obviously not name names.
No. I have not counted my sponsors. I had 2 temporary sponsors. I tried to get temporary sponsors when I was in rehab. So I did that twice. And the one from fellowship was amazing. I called her every day, sometimes multiple times a day, and she got me through. But like I said, I still at that point wasn't really understanding that it was a spiritual experience or a spiritual. And when they say spiritual, they're talking about values, changing your way of doing things, changing your way of thinking. Have a different paradigm now.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they mean by spiritual program.
And have you been, so since you came home from fellowship,
mm-hmm.
how active in recovery in AA have you been, and has it been difficult?
It's been really hard for me to go in person. And there's a lot of people that are like, online meetings are nice in a pinch, but you should go in person. And I see the argument for that. And then there are people who are online that like, they're telling people online saved me because it couldn't, because whatever reason. And I know part of it is my anxiety. My anxiety's been through the roof lately.
Mm-hmm.
I just, with my crazy schedule with work, it always being different, it really has helped to just be able to hop on.
One of the rules that we made was that, and I made it for myself. You didn't ask me to do this, but I made it for myself. I will never pressure you to do a meeting because we all have that rebellious side where we're like, you want me to do a meeting? Fuck you. I'm not going to do that. But I am always grateful when I see you in an online meeting, and there is no part of me that thinks I wish he was in a live one, because I see the value that the meetings do for you regardless of how you do it.
Yeah.
And your sponsor doesn't even live near us.
The sponsor that has gotten me through most of the steps and really been what I needed
Lives across the country.
Across the country. She's usually, well, she goes, sometimes she's in Thailand, sometimes she's somewhere else in the States. And, you know, technology is such, we can get a hold of each other. And
like we went to a play the other night, and
I was telling her that I fell asleep at the play. She called me a hillbilly. I'm like, that's fair, but I'm so tired.
but that's okay. That's a-okay.
But anyway, there have been sponsors that have been human, and one in particular, you know, said some things that I wouldn't have done it that way, that were probably most people would leave AA for. It was,
if they said that, if they heard that.
Yeah, it was just kind of offensive.
What was that sponsor's name, and where do they live?
I know, right?
Let's dox them.
And the truth is, I still love her. She's an amazing person, amazing woman. I just would have dealt with it differently, and it was hard for me. But, I mean, there are things. The thing is with any group, you're going to have diehards, and you're going to have people that like go, it's not that big a deal, and they don't get too into it. They dabble their foot in there, and everybody's just trying to do what works for them. I'm not going to judge that.
Do you feel like you're doing what works for you, or could you be doing more?
I could be doing more.
Are you hard on yourself?
I'm very hard on myself, but I mean, like, you have to go to a meeting.
How often are you doing
meetings? And by
meetings?
have to, I want to. I enjoy these meetings most of the time.
Yeah,
if I'm not, I need to ask myself what's going on spiritually and with my mindset. And
how often are you doing meetings?
Almost every day.
Yeah,
I try to do it every day.
Do you? So, what more could you be doing? Do you want to do 2 meetings a day?
No, I want to read, not just because. The pages that I read every day, read in air quotes, I listen to on my way to work on an audio.
That's okay. Listen to this. They're finding there's an article in the New York Times that found that if you're listening and paying attention to an audiobook, the same areas of your brain are activated as if you were reading it in front of you. And there are people who say that they get more from listening to it than, so don't sell yourself short.
I definitely know I get more reading, and I give myself time to read a line over and think about it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that one I could do. I would like to go. No, I would not like to, but I know what's good for me is to go to an in-person meeting. Once every other week even would be enough to have some supports in the neighborhood. My Mr. Rogers' neighborhood of alcoholics.
Mm-hmm. Some live in-person support.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That's fair. It's nice. Like, I did Al-Anon for a few times. I didn't like it very much, and I host trivia now. So like the Al-Anon meeting that I would go to is on the same night as trivia, and so I do trivia.
I think you would like it more now because you're a lot more open with.
Yeah, I don't mind Al-Anon. The meetings I was going to is fine. I just
doesn't do enough.
Doesn't
for you
do
to
enough for me.
the time.
Yeah, and therapy is helping. My big thing is I need to make some friends. I think you need to make some friends too.
I need some friends so bad. Oh my gosh. Okay, weird. Another weird thing that now I can share it with Neil, but there was a time when he would have been too angry. But there's a lady at work that came up to me and like started giving me a reading. Okay.
Like a psychic reading?
Kind of. Like telling me that someone was coming through talking to her and wanted to talk to me, and here's what they wanted to say, and here's who she thought it was, and the whole shebang. And you know what the message was? It was my mother. And my mother was telling me to make friends, that I needed support system and that I wasn't doing it. And she called me on my crap. Or the universe did, or
the psychic just assumed that.
Yeah. It was just a story the psychic told herself, and it happened to be true.
Yep.
But it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, I tell him crazy stuff like that all the time. And I know logically that probably most likely she really did just make an assumption, tell a story, and it happened to be true.
Yeah.
And it's
sometimes it's still good to hear.
But it really could have been a different way. Could mean something different too. We don't know.
Yeah.
So I try to hold space for people who just don't believe the mystical.
Right. And I'm one of them.
He holds space for people who do, because they're ridiculous and not logical.
Yeah, but I mean, there are things that people do that I'm like, I just roll my eyes at. But
sure.
On the day that Sabrina died, I was on the road, and I was sitting in a cubicle among other people, and a lady heard me talking about how I was having a rough day and how my daughter died. I was talking to you, I think, and she comes up to me and goes, "Can you come pray with me in the hall?" I'm like, okay, I guess I'll do that.
You did?
I did. How do you say no? Because her child had died. How do you say no? But
it was the only thing she knew how to comfort you.
Yeah, so I took comfort from her having empathy, right. Not from the prayer, because I was like, yeah. The other weird one was when Sabrina died. We were at the visitation, as they call it here, or viewing, as I was used to calling it in Utah. A lady asked if she could pray for us, and I thought she meant go home and say a prayer and close doors. So I was like, sure. In the middle of the viewing, she grabs both of our hands and starts saying a prayer.
You just looked at me. Can I pray for you?
Sure.
Oh, we're doing it now. Okay.
Yeah, I was a little embarrassed. So, in other words, if you're watching this and that was you, I apologize for calling you out. The person who did it probably never will.
It was very kind.
It was.
The intention was there, and we felt it, and it was very sweet.
Yep, that's very true.
But we do like to laugh.
Yeah. Living in the South, there's a lot more public prayers, like spontaneous prayers, than I was used to in Utah. Like, I never prayed over my meal as a Mormon out in public, and I see Christians pray over their meals all the time here. And
you never did?
Not in public, no.
Even as a missionary?
Yeah, even as a missionary.
You didn't like say private prayer?
I might have. I would have said it in my head, but out loud and in public, never.
Yeah.
And I see that a lot here, which is, I guess, more power to them.
There's worse things people are saying.
Yeah.
I don't mind hearing a prayer here and there.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Okay. Can't
lovely
talk
prayer.
About that, huh?
Well, we can talk about it. I just don't want to sound too negative. Piss people off in our first episode. Motherfucker.
Stop it.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so speaking of beliefs and a faith crisis on my end.
Yes.
I don't think it was, like, I call it a faith crisis, but it was mini. It was more just me feeling really unsettled because I had no idea what I believed. And I was very at odds with the things that were ringing true. They were not fitting together. So I am not an active Mormon. I don't practice, and I don't believe a lot of the what I would call appendages of the church, and also like beliefs that kind of stem from what I believe is doctrine.
But you still don't like it when I get negative about
I don't
the church.
like being negative about any beliefs because I know how dear my beliefs have been to me. I don't want them dictated, and I don't want to do that to someone else or guilt or shame them for a belief unless I think it's like really harmful. I mean, you can't just believe murder's okay.
Yeah. I would like to talk about women's roles in society. Not now, obviously. We're getting close to the end of this thing. I would like to talk about women's roles. There's a book that my local barista at Starbucks recommended about women that I want to read with you. We won't read it live on air because I think there'll be copyright, but we'll read it separately, take notes in our books, and then come back and talk about it.
Yeah.
And that might be a once a month thing.
Because I am willing to admit when there's things that have been maladaptive to me that were taught in my belief system. I'm willing to share that, and I don't want it to take away from what I think of it, because I have respect, I have gratitude for what it did for me overall.
Yeah. Well,
I had a good experience.
Let me say a few things about beliefs that I find harmful that I will not be very forgiving about. That is, if you think being gay is evil or unnatural.
If you guilt or shame or change your relationship with someone.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I guess you can think that all you want, but if you treat them or disown your child or whatever, like one of my favorite shows is Schitt's Creek, and the relationship that the parents have with their gay children is unbelievably positive. The last 3 season finales, I cried because it touched me so much.
Yeah. Like just the older we've gotten as we've lived, it becomes more and more an important value to us. Relationships with the people we love and care about.
Yeah.
We want them to be strong and powerful and have them remember kind and love.
Not put beliefs in the way of getting
just
along.
Support, positivity. Like that's something we really value in communicating with the people around us that we really value.
Yep. Should we call it? Do you have any closing thoughts before we go?
I have so many closing thoughts. Nobody wants to hear them.
We'll get to them. We'll get to them.
So yeah, I think next time, whatever's on our mind.
Well, I think we're going to talk a little bit about my perspective on your alcoholism next time.
Let's talk about your perspective. And I would like to talk about a little bit about how you, at a lot of points and times in this story, wanted to have a drinking buddy. Wanted it to be okay.
I still do.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
I do too. There were some times that were fun in the beginning before it. But it's a progressive disease.
The problem is if you were to take one sip,
I can't think straight.
Yeah. So yeah,
I just can't.
We're not
I'm
doing
allergic.
that. Yep.
I will die.
Yep.
I know that sounded crazy to my friend who hadn't seen me for a while. She's like, "You want a sip?" I said, "No, I'll die." Like that was just my response. She's like, "Oh, come on. No, you won't." And I'm like, just thinking, I didn't understand either.
Yeah.
I mean,
didn't that friend have an alcoholic mom?
Yeah. Yeah. So you can be right near, have all the experience with it, and just not get it.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah. And
so
I
don't hold any fault for different opinion. Like if you're in a place where you can't see how it would be
I'm sure there are people who will listen to this who will disagree with us.
Yes, and that's okay. I was there. I don't see any fault with that. I've been there.
Yep. Okay, well, I love you.